We produce the best vanadium in the world. We are one of 2 or 3 low cost in the world. So it gives us a situation, a very good situation to have a very good performance.
You said it's a natural evolution, but to me it seems like a revolution because you have a vanadium mine, but you are developing products. How are you positioning it? How is the board positioning the company? Hello and welcome to Crux Investor. First of all, thanks so much for watching this video. If you like it, give us a thumbs up. That helps us understand if this is the sort of company that you'd like us to spend our time, money and effort on bringing to you. And also do leave your comments below. It helps us understand sorts of questions that you think we should be asking, how you think we're doing, and of course what you think of the company. You can also catch this as a podcast, an article, or a transcription on cruxinvestor.com. And for our Crux Club members, you get early access to this video. And if you haven't already done so, please click the button in the corner of the screen to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And of course, for more videos like this, click the notification bell. We spoke earlier today to Paulo Misk, who's the CEO of Largo Resources. They're a vanadium miner, or at least they were. Paulo's come in, well, he's been there since 2014, but he's come in as CEO in late September 2019, and changed things up. No longer wants to be seen as a vanadium miner, but a high-tech solutions, a green solutions company into aeronautical, chemical, and other sectors. Ferrovanadium is, of course, where most vanadium goes. These guys are looking at producing high-grade flake. They're looking at vanadium and trioxide. They're looking at titanium oxides as well to create new products, high-margin products, which could potentially double our revenues and increase margins significantly. So lots is new. They're trying to reposition in the market. Yet to see whether how the market will react to that. Hasn't quite yet, but as the story is told, I suspect it will change the way that people view them. So take a look in the description below at a multitude of topics discussed, especially around finance, and let us know what you think. Anything interests you in particular, click on the number beside the topic. That's called a timestamp. That'll jump you to that part of the video. Otherwise, enjoy what Paulo has to say. Paulo, how are you doing, sir?
I'm very fine, thank you.
And how are things in Brazil?
Things in Brazil is going well. In spite of the COVID situation, we are doing very well. We have a very good relationship with the community, in the state we are, in Bahia. And no, it's a hard situation, it's a tough time, but we have doing all the preventive measures. We are following all the safety and health protocols according to all the authorities and everyone. We are doing our best in that regards.
Good.
And a result of it, we keep running. We have full production since beginning of the year. There's no impact at all in our performance.
Fantastic. But tell us, because we speak to people from all around the world every day, and different countries are reacting different ways. We see some quite high numbers in terms of with regards to COVID coming out of Brazil. What's the government's advice to you or to its population? It's
in Brazil. The government is supporting mining. They define that's the essentiality of the mining in Brazil as the raw material source for the whole industry. In the basics, that's mining does. So we have support from the government, we have support from the community, and of course we need to do our work, our job. So we are providing all healthy issues for the employees. And of course, what I say is we are going to pass this crisis together, each one doing their best, and that's what we are doing.
Okay, well, I hope the rest of the population's good. I'm hearing you loud and clear, business as usual. So look, there's a new, I said we interviewed your predecessor, Mark Smith, back in early September, I think, shortly before he left and you took over. So we have heard a version of the story. We're going to hear a new version today. So could you give me a 1-minute overview of the business for people who've not heard this story before, and then I'll pick it up from there.
Yeah, just a little background about Largo. Largo is an industry preferred producer and supplier of vanadium. we produce the best vanadium in the world in terms of quality. We have the V Pure and V Pure Plus. And interesting of these is this, the world market is 91% ferrovanadium. And the remaining 10%, it's aerospace industry and chemical application and VRFB. And the beauty of having a very good product that we can sell 2/3 of our production in this special application market. So that gives us a great advantage because there's a premium, very good premium for that special application. So we are producing from our mine in Brazil. We have the world's greatest, highest grade of V2O5. When we have the best recovery, overall recovery from the mine to the product, which testify our good performance and efficiency at our plant, our production. At the same time, we have a very low cost. We are one of 2 or 3 low costs in the world. I'm comparing with everybody, including Chinese. So it gives us a situation, a very good situation to have a very good performance. You know, high quality, low cost. And we look at the production, just to have one idea of flavor of that. We have been increasing our production year by year. When you look at the Q1 results this year, it was 35% over last year, Q1 2019. In Q2, we have our production 2% increase over Q2 2019 as well. So it's a very good performance. But I will tell you what, our team is responsible for most of that good results. We have a fantastic team.
Good.
And I have a very good sense of that because I have been there since the beginning, since we started producing in 2014. And I have helped, we have built this team and we have a fantastic people. We are improving every year. Every day we are looking for our performance, our KPIs and improving. So that's the way we are performing.
Let me jump in there because it's been all changed. You've been there since 2014 and in a different role from the one you're in now. Mm-hmm. You took over as CEO at the end of September last year. The business looks like it's changed. So you're presenting a different company from the one I spoke to back in early September. So why the change and what was wrong with the previous model?
We didn't change the strategy. It's just the evolution of what we have been doing before. You know, I think Mark Smith has helped a lot all progress we had. And it's just a continuous, all the strategy we have set before. But we have a very good news, in fact. You know, last year, we increased our production by 24%, our nameplate capacity. By the way, with a very small capex. And just to have an idea how successful was this expansion, we jumped from 800 to 1,000 tons per month of V2O5. The last 2 months, we produced more than 1,000 tons, well, 1,052 and 1,030 tons. So we increase our production, and this year we are going to improve our product, increase our nameplate capacity 10%. It's a very small cost. The capex will be 1.3 million US for 10% increase.
It's fantastic. Yeah, I get it. And going from 800 to 1,100, 36, 37% increase overall in that time frame. So these are good numbers indeed. But I want to stick with, I know you said it's an evolution in the business, but I want to ask, are you, or do you consider yourself a vanadium business? You have a vanadium mine, but you are developing products. Okay, you're developing, V Pure and V Pure Plus, and you've got other products in the line. So, How are you positioning it? How is the board positioning the company?
We are today a clean tech. We provide clean tech solutions. We are not. We don't. The mine is how we source our product to provide a clean tech solution for the market. And we are working with vanadium today. It doesn't mean that's going to keep producing only vanadium. And not just this, we are approaching the market, providing more products. We implement next year the ferrovanadium. Also, we are implementing the V2O3. V2O3 is 50%, 1/3 of the whole consumption of the aerospace industry, and also chemical industry as well. So we are approaching the market with more solutions, better products. And if it's not just these, we are developing a process to produce titanium pigment, Tio2.
Yeah.
That's going to be a fantastic improvement in our business. And we are developing a technology that's going to produce these in a environmental friendly, not going to discharge any fluid, any drop of a fluid into environmental.
Okay.
So we are doing a disruptive improvements in vanadium, and will be in the future for titanium as well.
So this is what interests me, okay? Because mining has got mining's obviously mining's very tough. Vanadium is quite tough because the erratic nature of the pricing in the marketplace. Obviously, the second half 2018, beginning of 19, you guys made a lot of money as the price went shooting up, as it does, every 10 years or so. Supply demand economics on that. But what I want you to explain today is, you said it's a natural evolution, but to me it seems like a revolution, because mining is one thing. Going downstream and capturing value, capturing the ability to make more money is important for you because of the way that the vanadium market has traditionally been, i.e. erratic. So is it an evolution, as you say, or was there the need to say to the board, look, we need to be a clean tech solutions company. We need to position ourselves as something where investors can, get away from this vanadium issue and see us coming up with solutions into this, whether it be the whichever verticals that you want to sell into, whether it be aerospace, chemicals, or even the EV component or battery storage, etc. So, what was that conversation like when you became CEO?
Yeah, first of all, I need to say that I have the full support to the board, and I'm very grateful for that. They have been supporting us, all the projects they contribute, and they support it 100%. That's very important, and the alignment with the board and the management, it's ensures that we are in the right path. But when we focus on fundamentals, production, cost, quality, providing the best product to our customers, provide the green tech solution. So when I approach the company that way, we see that we can do more. We can produce. We have titanium in our tailings, a huge amount of titanium, by the way. So we are developing and getting advantage of have this unique situation. When you look at our revenues and results, when you put titanium on top of vanadium, we will have another very important revenue stream, as important as vanadium. So it gives us a much better situation facing the market volatility. Titanium is more stable, and we start those things when we decide to have our own sales team. In April, our contract with Glencore over, and we decide to face the market by ourselves.
Okay.
Not just vanadium, but it created a situation that we can face another product as well of vanadium, and this co-product will be the titanium.
Okay, so let's look at this, because I think it's really important, because when we were doing this research, people were confused because there's a lot of new things and there's a lot of variables. Okay, so first of all, you're no longer a vanadium miner, you're a clean tech solutions company. Number one, you have a vanadium mine, clearly, but that's one product. Secondly, you're looking at titanium oxide, ilmenite for pigments and that sort of thing, as a second revenue, non-correlated revenue stream. That's right? Okay. You've talked about vanadium trioxide, which is, to be able to sell into, the high purity end of things, which is the aeronautical, chemicals, etc. line as well. These are small markets, but they're high margin markets. So I can see why you did that, right? But the thing which people haven't understood, I think, and properly, is obviously with Glencore, the contract finishing earlier this year, you built your own sales and trading team. So what does that mean? So what are you now capable of doing, and what's that done for your bottom line?
We joined a very good sales team, experienced people, competent, and I'm very happy with them. Very confident with all the capabilities, and they have been performing in a very, very good way. We joined them by mid of last year. It was part of our strategy as well, and it means that we're going to get all the opportunities, and value of that sales opportunities provide. And for us, it's essential to have our own path and knows about how we're going to face the market and providing the best solutions. There is no other way. We are not just a producer. We are not just a project which was 6 years ago, but now we are a company that's providing clean tech solutions, and not just for aerospace or chemical applications. We are looking very closely all the VRFB opportunities.
Yeah. Okay.
If you, I don't know if everyone knows about that.
Well, let's talk about it.
Battery.
Yeah. Vanadium redox flow batteries. We talked about it a bit on our show. So we've done a few interviews on the topic. It's a nascent industry. It's very early days, but you need to set yourself up for that. So again, without wanting to bounce around too much, what are you doing with regards to setting yourself up for vanadium reflex flow batteries?
Yeah, I let you know that Largo is a unique company that can supply vanadium for this application because we have the quality enough. Not everyone has quality. If you look at the whole production of vanadium, it's 70% from slag, which doesn't provide enough quality. Our product can be applied for VRFB, and at the same time, we are expanding our production. We don't need to put this extra production into ferrovanadium market, which we may have a not good impact in the price, but we can driven this extra volume of vanadium to an application of vanadium redox flow battery, which is a storage energy. It's a completely new disruptive improvement in the market. When you see all the green generation of energy, electricity, solar, wind farms, they need some device to storage energy. Nobody use energy late at night, or the bigger consumption is not in noon. So you need to keep the energy produced in that period and discharge when it's the people use most. And the VRFB provide that solution.
Vanadium electrolyte for VRFB, it's coming, but it's early days. So you as a business need to plan for it, but you can't plan for the revenues that it may generate yet, because it's some way down the line, because people needs to be taken up in the marketplace. People need to come up with designs which they're able to sell into market for you to be able to sell into that market. So right now you're focused on your core revenue streams, right? Which is selling what? So where's the bulk of the money that you're going to be focused on come from now and for the next couple of years?
Right now, we are producing ferrovanadium because we convert some partners. Vanadium pentoxide, especially the high purity, the VPure Plus. Increasing the V2O3 as well, because they have the capacity to increase our sales in the aerospace and chemical by 50%, only having this material. And it's interesting because our customers are asking us that we need to have the V2O3 because they would like to have our vanadium high pure product quality in the whole vanadium needs.
So what's it?
So that's the way we are going to approach and make the results.
So that's the core focus for the next couple of years. You've got to focus on money. You've got to be making money. Okay. So and with your sales team on board, your margins, presumably your margins have increased because you're not giving it away to Glencore anymore. Can we talk through your finances? Because I think you make a big thing of the amount of cash that you've got available. I mean, how much of that is free cash, and where does it come from in terms of operations versus financing?
We have a very good cash position. Very good. We have the unique situation. By the end of last quarter, our cash position was in a range of 147 million US. It's a very comfortable situation. We have enough cash to pay all the debt with Glencore. There is some payment we have done, but we have a very comfortable situation to facing the new projects, facing this all the period with COVID. Of course, there is some impact in Europe and US mainly. China today is launching and producing steel as crazy, and we are getting advantage of that. We are selling material into China today. If you look at the price in China of V2O5, in the range of $7 per pound. It's a very strong market. And we are getting advantage of that market, which is really hot, really excited. But also, Europe and US, we will rescue all the industry and steel production, I expect for Q4 this year. That's the way we are making good for the investors.
Okay, so I'm just looking at your presentation. You talk about Q1 20 numbers, the operations contributing, I think it's $11.6 million, but you've got $35.8 million provided by financing activities. So can you just help us understand the difference between those two?
Yeah, that's because we are positive in cash and we are getting advantage of this situation. But of course, the best investment for our cash is our operation. We have the great results, and we provide a much better results by investing in Largo and all these projects and expanding all our operation and solutions for the customer.
I was just okay, but what sort of things does it cover? Because that's a good return, given the amount of cash that you've got. $35 million is quite nice. So, what sorts of things were you doing there? Given you've paid off a big chunk of debt to Glencore, are you now debt free? Is that true?
We eventually got some cash in the market, some loans.
Right.
Just to we didn't know how COVID will impact our business. It's unpredictable situation, so we got a small portion just to be safe, and we could see that we didn't have any problem with operation sales.
Right.
So it's just to be safe.
Okay, so but you'd no problems raising that loan or that debt in the marketplace because you're producing cash and people want to give you money. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, that's the fact. You know, we have a very good situation. We have cash. And that's the perfect situation to get some money from the market when you don't need it. You get a very nice interest rates, and that's the way we did.
Yeah, I think yeah, banks love to give you money when you don't need it. It's that's the time to ask for it. So let me I think I've built up a picture of where the company was in September and what you've done in terms of migrating it through to a solutions provider. I get it, and I can understand why that might have a higher multiple as far as investors are concerned, certainly institutional investors, once you get those revenue streams going. So can you talk to us about how quickly you think those new revenue streams are going to be able to kick in with meaningful revenue? What's the next 5 years look like for you? And if you can, give us some sense of where, as a percentage, where the revenue is coming from. How much is trading going to contribute as a percentage? How much how much are each of the new product lines going to contribute?
Yeah, we didn't disclose those figures, so I cannot give you details about it, but I can give you a overview. We're gonna keep growing the revenue and the margin with vanadium by providing better products like the Q3. When we get the titanium pigment, it's not ilmenite supply, it's pigment. We expect that's our we are objective and aiming to double our revenue stream, and it will be basically 50-50 vanadium and titanium pigment. That's our aim. And when you look at all the production from titanium, we just need to add the processing. I'm not including crushing, not milling, because it's already have done this phase, but just the produce the ilmenite from flotation, adding a chemical plant, in a sequence, and we're gonna get the lower cost Tio2 pigment in the world.
Okay.
Just because we have already spent all the mining and milling, which is expensive steps.
Okay.
So it will be in a very good margin as well.
Okay, so the titanium oxide, ilmenite, pigment used in food and and all sorts of applications, paints, etc. Will double your revenue, but as a percentage of your margin, you think it's going to be quite a high margin product?
Yes, it's going to keep high, as much as we are doing in vanadium. But that's our expectations. We need to fulfill all the study steps, and there's a lot of work to do. We expect to have this package done, and all the studies done by Q1 next year. In Q1, I will be able to provide all the numbers and exactly forecast what we're gonna our plans.
Okay, understood. So it's not such a long runway if you're talking about Q1 next year. So that's not too far away. So we will listen out for those numbers as and when you start to understand them better. Sorry to keep coming back to the trading, but it was such a big deal was made of the fact that Glencore would be removed and you kind of masters of your own destiny at that point. But can you give us an idea of what you think that should do to your bottom line? I mean, if you're now in charge of your own sales process, I mean, how much was Glencore taking off the top?
Yeah, again, I cannot give details about the agreement with Glencore, but we don't get the full premium when you sell the high purity. Now we have the full one. So it's an advantage to be alone, but not just it. We are increasing our share in the high purity. I'm talking about aerospace, although this sector it's facing very hard time, but also for chemical. we didn't sell 1 pound for chemical applications before, but we have done already. You know, we are selling material to the chemical application. That's our focus, because the premium is even higher than aerospace. So just not having Glencore in doing our sales, we get more premium, and we increasing the VPU plus sales. It's a big advantage. Glencore was a very nice partner of Largo, but they are also a vanadium producer. So there is a kind of conflict interest.
Okay, and so tell me a little bit about, you mentioned like stockpiles, creating stockpiles. I mean, what's the idea? Sell everything that you produce out of the mine as quickly as possible, or do you stockpile and say, I think there's price recovery in the market to come? And what's your view on the vanadium pricing in the market, for instance?
Yeah, in Q2, we built some inventories, because you need to put material in a warehouse around the world. You know, we are converting to V2O to FEV. But the build-up, we have done this step already. Q2 is very important one, and that's the good things to have a very good cash position, because it doesn't, hit the company. We built the inventories. We are ready to supply all customers around the world with vanadium pentoxide, high purity, and ferrovanadium, as when they need, because we have already built those inventories in Q2. So we are ready to.
So what's the value of those stockpiles that are sitting around the world? I mean, what are they down on the balance sheet as?
It's about let's say 2,000 tons of overall of V2O5. If you look at our production guidance, it's 12,000 tons of V2O5 this year, but our sales guidance is about 2,000 tons less. That's why we planned that situation, and we are performing as planned.
Okay, so you produced that 2,000 tons at around, let's say, a cost of $3.25. So that gives us a sense of how much money net is available to you sitting around the world. Okay, stockpile. Okay, I just wanted to understand that. What else do you do with your $200 million? You've got a lot of different new projects at various stages, requiring markets to develop, requiring you to deliver things like, especially around the titanium oxide project. So how much net cash have you got, and how do you plan to spend that? How do you keep driving this growth? Have you got enough projects on the go?
Yeah, it's one step at a time. I will not say exactly what cash position we have today, just because it's not been disclosure yet. But we have enough cash, to run the V2O3 plant, to implement that. That's our priority, by the way. We postponed the FEV plant, by the end of next year. So we have time to do both in a very good way, no problem at all. And the titanium implementation takes a little bit longer, because we're going to have next year all the things done. And if we start already talking to the market to see how we can fundraising this for the titanium project. So let's build this all the projects once at a time, and adjusting our cash situation and financing, getting partners. We'll see all the strategies not defined yet, but I have no doubt when you have a good things to sell, it's much easier to get partners and people to help you, and our shareholders support all those actions. I have been talking to them, and they are very happy with what we are doing with the company and how we are going to make it grow.
Now, there's some very, very big plans in there, and I appreciate the change of positioning of the company could be dramatic in terms of institutions view of you. I get that. That's good. But you're going to be building a big debt position to be able to get these things going. I presume it's going to be mostly debt, is it?
Yes, we didn't define a strategy for this yet, but probably it's going to be that.
Okay, because you've got the revenues to be able to pay the coupons, so why not? Okay, so that's interesting.
And by the way, that's the perfect situation because the interest rates are very low. You see all the U.S., for example, they are the expectation for this interest rate for next 3 years will be the same level. It's unbelievable, and we have never seen this situation in history before. So it's a good time to have a good project, to raise money, help the economy to re-establish in the previous level, and we'll be part of that and take advantage of all situations.
Okay, absolutely. Well, you'll keep us in touch, stay in touch with us, and let us know how that's getting on, because I think that's quite important. Because with growth comes growing pains, and the cost of finance is important, as you say.
Yeah.
The board. Have you been buying shares in the market? I know you were pre-COVID, but what have you been doing since then?
I have been buying shares because the price is ridiculous. But by the way, it's very low price, and I expect. I'm not an analyst, but I think it values much more in a current basis. I'm not talking about the projects. I'm not talking about the improvements that we're going to implement, but in the current basis performance, this price is very undervalued. So it's a good moment for buying, and I'm doing this.
Good. I think your shareholders would agree with you. They don't understand what's been happening with the share price, because obviously, since the highs of towards the end of 2019, it's been in steady decline as the price has fallen away, obviously. But they're looking for you to lead from the front and tell them why the future looks good. And what I'm hearing today is there are future revenue streams that you're planning for, and I think a possible re-rate if the market buys your story that you're no longer a vanadium company, for sure.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I think, Paulo, that's a nice run through for the first of the new story. It's the first time we've spoken or met. So I appreciate you spending your time explaining that. I think people are unsure about vanadium, but maybe what you're doing, the plans that you have in terms of capturing more of the value downstream, might be more appealing to a lot of your current investors and obviously new investors as well. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, and thank you all the audience. It's a pleasure talking to you, and keep safe, please.